Wrestlemania 15. Coming from the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. At least, I believe that's where it was from anyway. This, in my opinion, is the best, well, let me rephrase that. It's not the best WrestleMania of all time, but it's my personal favourite. It's the one that, if you ask me which one do you enjoy the most, or which one does really signifies WrestleMania to you, and one that you really enjoyed the most, it's this one for me. I really like this show. Now, rewatching it back, you don't get the same feeling as like the first time you watch it or the second time you watch it. I've probably seen this show about 15-20 times in my life, so like watching it this time didn't have the same effects as it would have done like the first time, obviously, but this was a fantastic show. So let me get into it. First match, Hardcore Championship match, triple threat. Now this is the first time the Hardcore title has ever been defended at WrestleMania, and the match was Billy Gunn versus Al Snow versus Hardcore Holly. Now I believe this is Hardcore Holly's WrestleMania debut, and he wins the match. I think Billy Gunn was actually the Hardcore champion going into this, which, looking back, I find really strange that he was Hardcore champion. Anyway, Hardcore Holly gets the win. It's your standard little Hardcore match. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that this was a triple threat match, and like I enjoyed another match later on for being a fatal four-way. I think the flow works really well with three guys who, Hardcore Holly, Al Snow and Billy Gunn, they're not really linked in like any sort of particular way, but they gelled really well in this match, and the work rate that they had, the work that they did in the ring looks really good. And like I said, Hardcore Holly got the win, comes out of WrestleMania 15 with the Hardcore Championship. Next up, we have Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett, and they were going to defend the tag team titles against whoever the last two people were in the pre-WrestleMania Battle Royal, which turned out to be Test and D'Lo Brown. Test was a heel at the time, D'Lo Brown was a face, so it was kind of strange why they just picked these two guys. They probably just picked them because they thought, do you know what, out of everyone who we've got left over who's not doing anything, these two guys deserve it more. So they give these two guys a shot at the tag team titles. Obviously, Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett went over. The main bit of storyline in this match was that D'Lo Brown and Test were falling out. I don't know if they went on to do anything else with this, because I can't remember. I don't remember them having a specific feud, D'Lo Brown and Test. But yeah, they were sort of like falling out, and because one was a face, one was a heel, obviously. And Owen Hart and Jarrett got the win and stayed tag team champions. This was sadly Owen Hart's last ever WrestleMania. He died later on in the year, and speaking of people who died later on in the year, just a coincidence that he comes up next. Gorilla Monsoon, this was his last WrestleMania appearance as well. He was one of the judges going into the Brawl for All, but they didn't even need judges in the end. The judges were like Gorilla Monsoon, Chuck Wepner, who fought Muhammad Ali, who fought Andre the Giant. The film Rocky is apparently based on him, which I believe it actually is, but apparently Sly Stallone says it isn't. Anyway, you got a Butterbean versus Bart Gunn Brawl for All match. I don't know if any of you are not familiar with the concept. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, I'm sure most of you are. The Brawl for All was basically boxing, like sort of like MMA. There were specific rules, like you get a certain amount of points for a knockdown, certain amount of points for a takedown, etc. If you knock your opponent out, you won. Maybe if you could pin them, you won, but I don't think anyone ever did pin them. It's basically all knockouts. And Bart Gunn had won the Brawl for All tournament, which they did, and it was supposedly built up so that it was a way to introduce Steve Williams to the WWF audience, which Jim Ross was really behind him. Well, Bart Gunn ended up beating Steve Williams, knocking him out, and then going on and winning the entire tournament. Bart Gunn, they then, I think to punish him, they put him in this Brawl for All match with Butterbean, who's a legitimate boxer. He doesn't really box in the mainstream boxing world. He sort of boxes in like the side world. I don't think he ever boxed for any like mainstream title, and he was a super heavyweight, I think he was classed as. So when you got this super heavyweight boxer Butterbean going against Bart Gunn, who at best is a heavyweight, not a trained boxer, and Butterbean knocks him out within the first round. It's ridiculous. It would just seem like a proper piss take to even do this match, and especially the fact that they showed Butterbean to just embarrass their own guy. Next match. The winner of this match would become special guest referee for the main event of the evening. The match is between Mankind versus The Big Show. Big Show at the time was a member of the Corporation. Mankind was the face who wanted to be a referee for some reason. Obviously, Mick Foley, the real life guy, probably wanted to be involved in the main event, so he got that bigger slice of the pie when it came to everyone getting their money at the end of the day. But yeah, Mick Foley versus The Big Show. Winner becomes referee in the main event, which is Austin versus The Rock. Rock being a part of the corporation, Austin being the guy who's the total opposite of the corporation. He stands for everything that they don't stand for. He's working class, they're the upper class. So yeah, winner of this match gets that, and Big Show ends up getting disqualified by, I think he chokeslams Mick Foley through 2 chairs. I think that's what got him disqualified. If not, he did that afterwards. And then, no, yeah, that's what I did. He did it. He slams him through 2 chairs. Great little spot. Funny little match. Entertaining. If I didn't mention before on the Bart Gunn Butterbean match was not entertaining, I didn't like that whatsoever. But can wipe that off. Mankind versus Big Show. Good match. I entertained it. I enjoyed it. I was entertained by it. Obviously Big Show gets disqualified, so now Mankind's a special guest referee. Only thing is that he's fucked Mankind up, so Mankind gets taken off to the hospital, apparently. Big Show then gets disqualified, so he's going to the back. Vince McMahon comes out and starts giving him a bollocking, so Big Show knocks him out. They end up getting Big Show arrested. Big Show tries to make some slide joke to the policeman, which I thought was a bit out of order and just a bit stupid at the end of the day. So yeah, that was that match. Mankind's now your special guest referee for the evening, but he's gone off to hospital, so we've not got him as referee anymore. Now, Fatal 4-Way for the IC title. Road Dogg versus Ken Shamrock versus Goldust versus Val Venus. Goldust at the time was going around with the Blue Meanie and Ryan Shamrock, who's obviously Ken Shamrock's sister. This was obviously a kind of playoff of the storyline they did in ECW, where Raven was going along with Stevie Richards and the Blue Meanie and Buell McGillicuddy. So this time, obviously, Goldust is playing the role of Raven. Different sort of way of playing it, but it's the same storyline, just rehashed out. Obviously, Ken Shamrock's a bit pissed off because this guy's got his sister. Road Dogg's defending the IC title. Lots of different stuff thrown into the match. Not too much overkill. They sort of played it off right. It was the Attitude Era. It was very much of its time, and I really did enjoy this Fatal 4-Way match because, again, these 4 guys, Val Venus, Road Dogg, Ken Shamrock, Goldust, they're not really IC title contenders in my mind, and not long term, especially not WrestleMania, but they were thrown in there, they meshed well together, they gelled well, the match was put together very well, and Road Dogg ended up getting the win and keeping his IC title. Next match, Kane versus Triple H. Kane was a part of the corporation. DX, again, the total opposite of the corporation, just like Steve Austin. They're the good guys, and Triple H is the leader of DX. So Triple H is going against Kane. Kane, it was sort of like the hired hand of the corporation. He was in there against his will. If he didn't do what they said, then they would have got him taken off to the mental home. So he's going against Triple H. Chyna had just turned her back on Triple H and joined the corporation. Anyway, during this match, Chyna interferes. We all think she's going to help out Kane. She doesn't. She smashes Kane with a chair. Entertaining match. Nothing particular to say about it. Like, I don't like to really talk about the specific spots in the match, because if you wanted to know about all the spots and like move for move and all that, you'd go watch it yourself. If you just want a quick overview of the stuff, then that's what my videos are good for. Do you know what I mean? Like, just to get a quick overview and to get my opinions of it. Yeah, good match. I really recommend going back and watching this entire pay-per-view, to be honest. Kane beats Triple H because Chyna wallops him with a chair, but then like Triple H like lays out Kane and the crowd erupts cheering. They go fucking apeshit. They pop big time for this because Chyna has come home to D-Generation X. Not only that, but Road Dogg still got his IC title. Billy Gunn has lost, but then Kane's got a match later on to defend his European Championship. Right, next up we've got Sable versus Tori. Oh, can I just say that Chyna didn't look as manly as she did like most before this. They started dolling her up a little bit now, so she did have that, I wouldn't say sex appeal because that's going a bit too far, but she did have that little bit of sex appeal where they were sort of pushing, like not pushing her towards Playboy, but you can see where they were sort of going with her. They were sort of like feminine, making them look more feminine, taken away from that masculine butch look, and that's where they did end up going down the road putting her in Playboy. So yeah, Sable versus Tori. So Sable, the only thing that she did of any interest in this was this grind wiggle thing with her hips, like a sort of Zumba move or something like that. That's all she did that was of any entertaining. It was Sable versus Tori, women's title match. I totally do not recommend this as a women's match. For anyone who's interested in women's wrestling whatsoever, this is a very big letdown. Sable gets the win, keeps hold of her women's title. Embarrassing for women's wrestling, this really. Great looking woman, but just not a wrestler, is she? She knows that herself, I suppose. Next up, not semi-main event, but we're getting there. Shane versus x-pac for the European Championship. X-pac is the champion. China's just come home to DX. Again, DX versus the Corporation. Shane, the boss's son, gets everything handed to him on the plate, including a title match for the European Championship at Wrestlemania. So they go at it back and forth. Very good match again. Right at, I think Test was at ringside all the way through it, and he was basically getting involved, trying to help Shane on my count because he was part of the Corporation. I probably said that already before. How many times have I said he was a part of the Corporation? Anyway, X-Pac versus Shane, good match. Ends up that Triple H comes out of the crowd and turns on X-Pac. China wasn't coming home. Triple H had joined the Corporation, and the Corporation had turned their back on Kane, and now X-Pac was fucked over. Then the Road Dogg and Billy Gunn come out. China, Triple H, Shane McMahon, and Test all fuck off out of there. Oh, before I forgot this in the last video. Can I just mention now? Before the Kane match, he was attacked by a bloke in a chicken suit, who was the same guy who he had a beef with last year, which was Pete Rose, an old guy who was just something to do with baseball. Apparently, he was a baseball player. I don't know anything about him, but yeah, Pete Rose's involvement in WrestleMania is the ideal celebrity involvement. He comes along, he's got a bit of celebrity status about him, and he makes the wrestlers look good. He let Kane just dominate him, which is obvious because Pete Rose was like, what, in his 40s, maybe in his 50s? He's supposed to dominate him, and that's what he does. Celebrities are not supposed to come into the wrestling world and dominate them. That's a rant for another video there. I'll talk about this a lot, and I'll leave it for now, shall I? Yeah. Shane McMahon beats X-Pac, wins the European Championship, I think. Or was it? Did he? I think he did. Yeah. Next up, Undertaker versus Big Boss Man, Hell in the Cell. Hell in the Cell on WrestleMania. This should be a big match. This is the Undertaker. This is the streak. Remember, we're looking back and thinking Undertaker's amazing. He's dominating. Everyone loves him. Well, not in this match. They didn't. The crowd were chanting boring throughout it. It really ruined the entertainment for me. And also, there's a stupid spot where Boss Man handcuffs the Undertaker to the cell, and he hits Undertaker, and as Undertaker goes to fall, the chain snaps. And it was obviously supposed to snap at some point where Undertaker was supposed to make his big return and snaps his arm off and then makes his big comeback. But he fell and it snapped, and I think that's why the match was boring, because they had to start that ad-libbing more. Taker obviously got the win over Bossman. Then after the match, he sort of does this thing where he calls up to the ceiling and then brings his arms down in a solemn pose, and then three guys drop from the ceiling. It's the Brood, it's Gangrel, it's Edge, it's Kane, all making their WrestleMania debuts. They rip the top of the cell open, and then they tie a rope to the top and then drop down a noose, and they hang the Big Boss Man. This was incredible. Every time I watch this, I'm more and more surprised by it, because obviously they didn't hang him properly. But from looking at it, you cannot tell what they did. Obviously, they attached a rope to a back brace or something, and just this part of the rope that was around his neck was obviously just for show. The main part of the mechanism was attached to his back, I'm guessing. Very, very believable bit. It looked incredible. It looked brilliant, and the Boss Man really sold it by wiggling around like the life was being drained out of him. It was brilliant. I cannot underestimate how good that spot was. It honestly made Undertaker look fantastic that he's done that, and Boss Man sold it really, really well, and it looked just incredibly violent. It doesn't get more violent than hanging someone, does it? It just doesn't get more violent than that. You cannot do anything more violent than that in pro wrestling. Unbelievable stuff. You wouldn't be able to do that nowadays. Someone would come down heavy on them if they did it now. But it was definitely worth the risk, because I don't think many it's never been a big thing that they did it, to be honest. No one's ever really said anything. But then again, it's a TV show, isn't it? No one really should say anything. But for the kid, imagine being a kid in that audience, seeing someone being hanged in front of you. Scary stuff. Next match, main event. Start of the show, it was announced that this main event would be no holds barred. Anything goes. Rock, WWF champion, going against Stone Cold Steve Austin. The Rock, member of the corporation. I have to say it one more time. He's got Vince McMahon on his side. So Vince McMahon has said, yeah, this is going to be no disqualification. Thinking, do you know what, if Mankind is referee, then it's going to be no disqualification anyway. But then Mankind isn't referee. Then Vince McMahon walks out going, don't worry, I'll be the referee. And Shawn Michaels comes out saying, oh Vince, have you not read the rule book? There's only one person who can put an official in place in a WrestleMania match, and I'll tell you that is, it's the commissioner, it's me, it's Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid. And then Shawn Michaels sort of fucks up a little bit, because he's supposed to say something along the lines of, listen Vince, if any of your corporation members come down to the ring, I'll fire them on the spot. But what he does say is, you Vince, if you or any of your corporation members come down, and then he realises, shit, Vince is supposed to come down in the match, and he changes his mind and goes, no, I might let you come down actually, but if any of your corporation members come down, oh, they'll be fired on the spot. But you're not refereeing, I'm going to put a referee in place. So then Vince McMahon is sent all the way to the back, where he changed his clothes, funnily enough. And then we get, what's he called, Mike Yoda. He becomes the referee. Mike Yoda gets knocked out, and he takes a fucking hard, stiff shot to the head with a steel chair from Austin, rolls out of the ring. Tim White comes down. Tim White's the referee. Rock's angry at him, so Rock bottoms him. Who's the old guy? Earl Hebner comes down. Earl Hebner runs down there. Earl Hebner's the referee. Somehow he gets banged out of there. Vince McMahon comes down, and him and Rock start stomping on Austin. And this is where Rock fucks up a little bit, because the crowd start popping, because Foley is hobbling out there in his referee shirt where he's drawn the lines on. Oh, and I've just remembered I've got one of those in my wardrobe, which I should have put on for this video if I had the brains about me and a bit of pre-planning. Anyway, I might wait for my next video. Yeah, I probably will. Yeah, so we got Foley coming down, and Rock turns around and sees him, and then just turns his back, and then it's supposed to be like Foley comes up behind him and surprises them and knocks Vince McMahon off. But it doesn't come off like that. It comes off a bit sloppy, because Rock's seen him, then he just turns around and ignores him. Doesn't want Vince. Vince ends up fucking getting shooed off by fucking Foley. Anyway, Austin obviously comes back into the match, gives him the old stunner, gets the 1, gets the 2, gets the 3 from Mick Foley. New WWF champion. After the match, Stevie drinks a couple of beers, kicks Vince's ass a little bit. Fantastic stuff. My favourite WrestleMania of all time. Well, probably. Let's see, once I finish them all, I might give a better answer. But yeah, my favourite WrestleMania of all time, up to 15. Now, what are your thoughts on the show? Surely most of you should have seen this one, because this is quite a recent one. This is quite a big one. This is Rock. This is Austin. This is what it's all about. This is what pro wrestling fans are all clamouring for. Not all of them, but quite a lot, saying, oh, bring back the Attitude Era. Oh, just bring back compelling stories. Bring back characters like The Rock and Austin. Bring back charismatic guys. Bring back the storylines. Bring back the stables. The people want all these things. It's all in this show. Everything you could want is in this show. God Bless America, or whatever the song's called at the beginning, was sung by Boyz II Men. You know, they sung it very well as well. Yeah, let me know what you think of this show. All the spiel. Thumbs up if you like it. Thumbs down if you don't. Subscribe up above if you want to. And with that, I'm out. Thank you very much for watching.